give everybody a minute here to jump on in and say hello to each other. See the Beagle do a puzzle while we're waiting on everybody to get in and I get connected to the chat, the comment section as it is. So if anybody can hear or see me okay, or at least see the dog okay, hit the like button. That'd be awesome. Very cool, very cool. Get connected here. For some reason, the only thing it's worried about is selling me. The interwebs this morning is trying to sell me Paramount Plus. Good morning, Ronald. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. There we go. All connected. The Beagle says hi. She's busy. She's busy doing her thing. Yeah, the Beags. Yeah, 100%. Beags is doing her thing. I figured everybody'd rather see that than I'm doing fine, man. I'm showered, looking good, feeling good, smelling good. Hope everybody else's Sunday's going as good as mine. Got a lot of stuff done in the garden this morning. Went out and fertilized for the final time this year. Did some picking, if you can see kind of in the background there. Got a couple more pumpkins and we got some carrots this morning. And yeah, so far all is good. To have some breakfast pizza, which should be pretty cool. Grab a couple things just in case I forget them. Because being in the garden all this morning, I'm not really behind at all. I just kind of having a laid back day, really. Wait, like I said, give everybody a couple minutes to kind of jump on in and do some saying hi. I think the excuse me, something to drink. I think the NFL starts. Doesn't the NFL start today? So people might be on their way to the stadiums and tailgate and all that fun stuff. I myself do not. I'm not big on football, pro football. Back is good. Yes, it is. Really good. So, oh, you're at work? Yeah, I'm kind of at work too. Looks like it's time to buy old school Cracker Barrel skillets. Yeah, right. Man, that's some awful stuff, man. It's one of those things where if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I noticed a couple years ago in the local. I don't live in the city. I don't have much fast food around me. But I noticed when they knocked down all the old McDonald's and Burger Kings, there wasn't anything wrong with them. And then they all came back and they were just boxes. And I'm like, and Ming, she was like, they're all gonna look like that, Dad, I guarantee you. And they will. I wonder if that's maybe I'm sitting in my but yeah, good morning, Lake Hickory guy, how are you? But yeah, I wonder if that's why maybe Lodge didn't do a new skillet this year, as they've been doing, for so many years in the past. But I guess we'll find out. Soon enough. All right. Well, we've been. Looks like the Beags has got her puzzle solved. She's licking her chops, and now she's looking at me to give her something else, which she's not getting. So that's plenty of treats. So let's get over here to the work area, since I'm kind of at work this morning too. So move this puzzle out of the way and this dog. All right, Beags. Your job is done. Like they always say, don't work with animals and kids and animals. So here we go. So today's start of the show, we're going to be using the Pickle Favorite. My favorite. And the handy dandy Lodge 9-inch griddle. Whenever people ask me what to get when you first start collecting cast iron or using it, I always tell them start with one of those and make eggs. It's the best thing you can possibly do. We're going to heat the oven going. I'm going to take that up to make sure there's no other cast iron in there before I do all this. We're going to take that up to 500 degrees. Because basically this is going to be, how do I want to say it? It's going to be Casey's breakfast sauce. Casey's breakfast pizza, if you guys have never had Casey's breakfast pizza, they do two kinds. The bacon one, which I made last week, and then they make sausage gravy one, which is where I got the idea for this. So, using number 9 favorite for my fried eggs right now. Sits flat when cold, works when it's warm. Yeah, sometimes those old ones do it, but man, that's one I don't have. I do not have a favorite number. I don't have anything in the favorite ware above number 8. I have a lot of smaller ones. I have the 5, 6, 7, 8s, and I've got some other stuff. I've got some gem pans, and I got a gem pan, I should say, and a what's some of the other stuff. I'm trying to think what else I have. I think that's about it on my favorite ware, actually. But I say that, and then I think of something else that I've got. And I'm excited to, I've about got one where I get my milk. The guy at the dairy has a number 8 enameled favorite ware, and I'm going to bring that in to, I'm trying to talk him into letting me borrow it, and we'll give that a day in court. Let's get these pans heated up. At least this back one, we'll get our sausage gravy going and all that. One little fly running around in here. I had the windows open earlier, which is the other reason that I'm getting ready to, let's see, now you got a number 9 Dutch oven, cracked Dutch oven, number 9 favorite, and number 9 Miami favorite dual logo. Yeah, I just did a, for a guy I used to work with, I just did a Miami dual logo. Now which way, if I'm right, and I could be wrong on this, but I think they actually swapped did they swap logos on that one? Like some say Miami at top, and then favorite in the middle, and the other one say favorite on top and Miami in the middle. But I could be wrong about that. I'd have to look in my books to know that one. But is your cracked Dutch oven still good enough to use for, say, like what do you call it? For like bread and stuff? Can you still use it for that? And is it still cutting out? I know Ronald said I was kind of cutting out a little bit. I might have been really close. Sometimes when I'm really close to the mic on the stand, it picks up too much. So I think so on the Dutch. Yeah. Okay. Roger that. So get these pans heated up. I'm gonna wipe that stove off just for a second. Kind of cloudy looking over there. And we'll get going on all this. But it's sort of a make it as you go. I've got the dough warming up, and that's the yogurt dough, which is just 3 3.75 cup, somewhere around there of all-purpose flour, or not all-purpose, self-rising flour, and then 1 1/4 cups of plain yogurt. And you can use either plain or Greek, regular yogurt or Greek yogurt, whichever you prefer, and they both pretty much work about the same. And Greek's a little thicker, so sometimes you might be able to get away with using a little less yogurt, but that's what we have. Miami in the middle. You can see the outline of the logo part. Gotcha. Sort of there's a lot of ghost marks on favorites. So let's get going. I'm going to do my eggs first, because what we're putting on the top, we're going to keep it. The sausage pizza at Casey's is pretty regular, I guess you'd say. It's just sausage gravy, eggs. Sometimes you can add bacon if you want, but it doesn't come with it. And sausage gravy, eggs, and cheese, and that's all it is. It's pretty easy. My wife said the favorite I'm thinking is now hers. Oh, okay. So you just, in the matter of just seconds, you've lost you've lost one of your prized pieces out of your collection. That's always cool. Thank you, Mrs. Stone. She just added one. Very cool. All right, so let's get going here on this. Cause we're just kind of hanging out. I guess we're just sort of hanging out and BSing. That's gonna need another minute. But we're gonna do my eggs first. Let me just move you guys back just a second because I didn't get a thing to put my eggs in. Like I said, I'm just sort of having a laid back kind of morning. So, wasn't trying to rush myself. Get some butter in there, see how that's going. I might need to get another butter out because I don't think that's going to be enough for the sausage gravy. Not even close. Yeah, that's getting ready. That's about egg worthy. That's about ready for eggs. I don't know, and I do have the radio on too, so if that's bugging anybody's listening experience, just let me know and I'll get rid of that. Sound seems to have smoothed out now. Okay, cool, very cool. Yeah, I was just like right when I was kind of giving the Bigs a little room to get to her treats, her treat puzzle, as it is, and because usually she, I don't want to say it, she kind of moves it around a lot more than she did. She was just getting right down to business this morning. So, I do want to grab my handle here. Slip that on. Just in case anybody from Lodge is ever watching. Got to get the logo up. But the egg's only going to take, once this is fully heated up and you get a little bubble in there. Put these eggs over. Let's get the eggs off of here. There we go. Okay. So we'll take that. I'm going to stay in the shot if we can help it. There we go. 1 and 2. I'm kind of working pretty clean. Normally I just toss these over into the sink or whatever, but I'm trying to keep it a little clean. I cleaned up the kitchen this morning. And I'm moving back out. I gotta mow the grass. I gotta mow the grass and my neighbor's grass this morning. Or will be this afternoon by the time I get to it, I guess. Let's see here. Let's get my little whisk. There's the little whisk. Yeah, nice relaxing little morning. Have a little and then I like to add just a splash of water. Splash of water to this. Get my spatula out. Oh, I already got a spatula out. Never mind. There we go. And we'll get a little salt and pepper in there as I make my way around the camera stand this morning. Sound seems like okay. So there hasn't been any new comments. A little salt and pepper in there. And that's it. Nothing fancy. There we go. And I'm hoping for about 30 seconds on these eggs. Don't need much. Don't need too much. But I'm going to do everything in one pan too. So I'm going to do the sausage. I'm going to put this off to the side. And when I'm done, when these are finished. And then we'll do a sausage gravy in that same pan. Move you guys a little closer. If I can, hold on. I need to get a better cameraman. There we go. Sorta, kind of, sorta, I guess. These don't take long. And I should need all these. I should need about half that, but I think the Beegs is probably going to want some. She'll want a little egg. She usually. She's an egg fan. At least that's a word on the street. She seemed to be yesterday. I made egg salad because it was too hot to cook yesterday. There we go. There we go. There we go. And later today, I need to get all that stuff done because today I'm going to make hot sauce for the first time. Did anybody, any of you guys ever tried to make homemade Tabasco sauce, like fermented style? And I think I've gotten enough after I picked the rest of my peppers, my red pepper, my Tabasco peppers this morning. I think I have enough to make 2 batches, make a double batch, and so I'm going to make one unfermented and I'm going to make one fermented and some stuff. Wife did that to a 10 3-notch. Truth be told, her mother-in-law bought this, her first piece, number 8. Oh, really? Oh, very cool, very cool. Made fermented red and green sauce. Okay. If you have a good recipe, just email it to me. That'd be super rad. Because I'm a rookie at this. I'm a rookie. How do I want to say it? I'm a rookie sauce maker. So this is just. Okay, the eggs are done. Cut these up. And get these ready to go. And that's going to be about it on that. That's going to be it. These are done. They don't have to be overdone because they're going to be on top of the pizza. So, and I'll chunk them up a little better once we get everything in there. Once everything's in there, do that while we watch the sausage cook. But yeah, I've never tried to make hot sauce, and I actually want to make if I've got enough for a triple batch, I want to try and make wing sauce too, and I don't need to ferment that. I'm just going to make enough for like a batch of wings. So we've got that done. So let's plop in our sausage and get that show on the road. I'm gonna have to lose this. That might be more in my way than normal. So we're just using some just plain old Bob Evans sausage, the original. I'm gonna add some sage and whatnot to it, some black pepper, and a little bit of cardamom in there. I got some cardamom seeds sitting behind me. Yeah, mix of hot pepper, bell, carrot, cilantro, lime. For your hot pepper, for your sauce, I was trying to keep mine like, I'm trying to make more of of just the standard Tabasco. Because if everything wasn't, my camera stand wasn't standing right in front of my dishwasher, I just cleaned out my last bottle because I had a big bottle of Tabasco sauce, and I think I've said a couple times on here that I was trying to empty the bottle so I could just reuse that bottle, and I did. I emptied it out Friday and I threw it in the dishwasher, or no, yesterday, and I threw it in the dishwasher last night, and so it's in there drying right now. So I got some cardamom seeds out of because I don't grow cilantro for cilantro because it grows so quick. I just kind of grow it all year round, either in the house on the stand here next to in the wintertime. But I grow it for the cardamom. I let it just, everybody comes up and they're like, what's this dead plant sitting here? And I'm like, William Hurt, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Do you have the fermenting, the ball has a nice setup. You can fit a 1.5 gallon jar. I've looked at the, I was gonna just try to, overall, I was just gonna try to, I haven't separated this stuff either. So maybe I should have done that ahead of time. But I don't need much, just a few cardamom seeds in there out of the stuff I picked the other day. But yeah, everybody's always like, what's that dried up plant right there? And so I do the cilantro just for the seed. Because I can just go out and pull it. Plus, if I'm ever out of it and I really need it, when you go to the store and get it, it's like 80 cents for a huge bunch that you're never going to use anyway. I usually end up throwing it in the dehydrator anyway. Then the ball has a nice set. You can fit up to 1.5 gallons. Yeah, I've seen those because I don't have them locally. I was just gonna burp the jar, honestly. That was sort of my plan, was just to burp the jars. I don't know if that's a great idea, bad idea, but that's what I was gonna do. Yeah, William's in this morning. There we go. This browned up a little bit, and then we'll just go right into it. And once again, I'm using, if you guys, for people that are out there floating in the stratosphere that have never watched the show before, I use Kentucky Colonel seasoned flour for my sausage gravy, which is the absolute best. I mean, everything's in there, and it's just like great. It's almost, it just makes the best white gravy. It's like white gravy that tastes like Colonel Sanders made it. Pretty good stuff. Rick Stunball, what's going on? Beeg's already made her appearance. I know you'll be slightly disappointed at that. She just had about half a dozen dog marrow treats, so and I shut the door so I keep the air on so we can work with this dough more successfully than the last time, because that was one thing. Since I don't have the patio door open, she's in there pouting on the couch probably, or looking out the window at the other dog. It's a neighbor dog across the street. They've got a one of the ladies across the street has an Australian cattle dog, and they, yeah, please, the like button has been definitely could use some attention as of late. There we go. But yeah, the lady across the street has an Australian cattle dog, and they've decided that they like to bark at each other. Toss in a little bit of fennel seed, not much, just a sprinkle, kind of flavor up that original Bob Evans. And then I've got some sage right here. We'll drop a little sage on that, just to say we did it. And there we go. So, and let's throw some black pepper on this and get that going in there. Yeah, so there we fit 500 on the, we fit 500 in the oven, which is what I like. We're gonna par bake that crust a little bit while we, after I get this sausage gravy. Once we get this to about the gravy stage, we'll start doing that when we get that par bacon and all that stuff. But I want to make sure I got the gravy ready to go before I do that. And I used a half a pound. I don't know if I said that. So there we go. All right, I'd say we're good. So let's turn that down just a smidge so we don't scald our milk when we put it in. And this was evidently some really lean sausage because we don't have a whole heck of a lot of fat from that, which is kind of nice in a way. But we'll throw about a tablespoon plus of butter in there, just to keep things, just to make it right. And then we'll match that for folks. I know everybody, a lot of people out there are pretty skilled with their sausage gravy making. But for people that are new to it, that are out there in the interwebs stratosphere, you want to basically go when you start your stuff. You want to get your fat, and you want to kind of match the amount of fat with the amount of flour that you put in, and then you just start adding milk to it, and then you're good. There we go. Might have been a little more. I don't know. That might have been about a little more than a tablespoon of butter, but whatever. I'm buffering again. Okay, let's move that. Let's move the mic back just a little bit. Let me move you guys up just a pinch and over. There we go. Okay, so we're at, I'm gonna keep that about 3. So we got our fat melted. Move that down here so I got a little spot to work with. And mix that up okay. And this is, once again, like I said in some of my other videos, this is a really good way to smooth out your cast iron. There we go. That's all right. That's a good amount. Start working with that. Get my whisk back. My whisk again. No buffering here. Okay. Who said they were buffering? Because sometimes we get. Sometimes it's the same folks that say it's buffering. So sometimes I wonder if it might be your connection or your area or whatever. But yeah. I think since I'm using this, I'm not using the Lodge. I'll break out this one. So I don't want to put a bunch of utensil marks into this. I'm not afraid to use metal in my Lodge because it smooths it out. It honestly smooths it out a little bit better. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's burned. We need to turn that down just a little bit. Got worked in there. There we go. And now we'll just add our milk. I should have got the milk out ahead of time to let it kind of warm up so we don't shock the pan, but these pans aren't very hot, so. There we go. Set this stuff off to the side so we can get back to just using the spatula at this point. Made some salsa verde last week, so bomb. Really? Salsa verde. I've got a lot of green chilies outside, and I was thinking about doing that with some of those because I've got a lot of cayenne peppers coming in. There we go. We'll just start with that and get that worked in there, and it's just stir time. Just stir it. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit more pepper to that, I think, too. Because you can't have too much. There's a moth. My backyard has been invaded by moths. I like the white ones, but I don't like the ones that are the real dusty brown little ones. Those are serrano. That's what you use, serrano peppers? Oh, every morning, tortilla chips for a snack. Nope. I think I've said before, I got a buddy who has a skillet, and every Sunday morning he makes biscuits and gravy, biscuits and sausage gravy, and he says he goes through his skillet's so big that he goes through a gallon of milk every time he makes it. So he's got to have like, I don't know. And it's vintage. I don't know what it is because he never shows me the back of it. There we go. Add the rest of this milk. If I gotta add more, I gotta add more. But I don't want it too thin because this is going to be the gravy for the. It's got to be. It's a pizza topping. you know. So if I want to add more for after I put this on the pizza, I'll thin it out a little more, but I don't want it to be absolutely thin. So that's a for sure thing. There we go. Here in a second, I'll give it a taste here in a minute. But yeah. And gravy is a great way to clean your pan. If folks out there, if you're not used to using cast iron, and you got a dent, you got a lot of cracklings and everything, burnt pieces at the very end, that's an opportune time to get out your flour and chicken stock or beef stock or whatever you have, vegetable stock, and start making yourself a nice gravy. And we're just gonna let that, I'd say that's good. I'm gonna taste it here and see what it needs. But generally that, one thing I like about that Kentucky Kernel flour is everything's in it. You don't have to add a whole heck of a lot. As long as your sausage is where you want it, then you're usually good to go. So let me taste that. Get a spoon here. Give this a day in court. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's where we want it. We'll let it simmer down now. Give you guys a good peek at that. There we go. There we go. We're gonna leave that on number 3 and let that simmer down a little bit. And we'll get started with getting our cheese grated, and we'll get the par baking part done of the crust. So let me just move a couple things out of my spot, and we'll get going on this dough. The dough, take it out of the bag. This was frozen. I previously froze this. This was part of another batch. So that's the other big project I have this week going on is I made 2 quarts of yogurt about a week and a half ago. So I'm gonna make about, I don't know, a dozen or so loaves of bread and pizza crusts and freeze them. It's time to start stocking up for winter. I've got to start dehydrating. And I was gonna ask you guys, do you guys ever, good morning, Mercy B. Cool Beans, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. See, we got about 43 folks watching right now. If we could everybody hit that like button, that'd be so cool. Where's Greg? And, you know, I haven't seen Greg in a while. I don't know. I was actually going to send him a message. I haven't seen Fuzz yet this morning, but he's probably still sleeping. He's all balled up in them cats in the refrigerator box. So the dough is still kind of cool. I just pulled it out about 15 minutes. Not out of the freezer, but out of the refrigerator, which maybe I should have let that go a little bit better than I did, but we'll see how that plays out. We're gonna move over to here. Oh yeah, that little heart thing works. I'll be danged. Let's see, move you guys this way so I can get in front of that. And I'll get out a bowl. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from GH, but he's a busy guy, so I'm not gonna take that personal. He's one of them busy folks, as they say. We're gonna throw a little flour down into there, a little regular all-purpose flour, and because I'm not gonna make the same mistake I made last time, I'm actually even gonna hit the air because it's starting. I'm gonna turn the air down quite quick. Because this 500-degree kitchen, my kitchen's pretty small, so we're going to, there we go. Let's see, Baltimore Heritage.